So, Kotaku asks the question, what is the best video game sequel? And if you guys aren't aware of sequels, they're basically a game or content that continues the original story. In case the first line of like this article says, includes Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. That is the direct sequel to one of the. I don't know if it's a sequel to um, the original Legend of Zelda, because like with Legend of Zelda, it splits into three timelines to where if you lost a Ganon, if you continue as an adult, or if you were sent back as a child. And when you're sent back as a child, the next game would have been Majora's Mask. So I guess Ocarina of Time is the original is one continuity's direct sequel. Fallout New Vegas, Titanfall 2, and you would probably categorize as games that are like um sequels tend to be either games that are like directly released right after a game's been uh published. Like Tears of the Kingdom is a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild without the number 2 moniker. Or if it doesn't say in the title of Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3. So alternatively, rather than going through this article, because there isn't much substance between asking the question and saying this, the writer indicates that their video game sequel is Half-Life 2 because of the number of hours they spent and later all the time they spent on mods and community made maps. Okay, but then afterwards it doesn't really have it's most the majority of this popularity comes from discussion. And for this alternative take, let's just go ahead and talk about the can I close this? Pausing is fine. Pausing is fine. We're just going to go through the comments to like see if we can't make a discussion out of it because, in my opinion, the best. I mean, I would probably say the most the one video game sequel that comes to mind is Kingdom Hearts 2 because of the way of the it's always people. I would say that I revisit Kingdom Hearts 2 plenty of times because of like the innovation between 1 and 2, between uh the stark differences between Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 is vast, and coming from playing Chain of Memories into Kingdom Hearts 2, it almost feels like a huge innovation from Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, even though technically because it's technically the direct sequel to Chain of Memories, but it's a Game Boy Advance game to the original Kingdom Hearts. And people, and what's funny in where games after Kingdom Hearts 2, which would be um, 358 over 2 days, it would be also Dream Drop Distance and also like Kingdom Hearts 3. They borrow innovations from Kingdom Hearts 2. In Kingdom Hearts 3, they include the mechanic to like switch between keyblades like a Devil May Cry character, but it still includes aspects of 2 like the reaction commands and the way form changing works and the way what is it? Commands work. It borrows so much from 2 that it's like a huge cornerstone on popular Kingdom Hearts games, in my opinion. But who can say, right? Who can say? So let's go through, and if I think of another game that is my favorite sequel, I will go in the comments and probably say that too. But the most popular post. These comments are sorted by the most popular, and so far, the most popular with 8 stars is Ocarina of Time has to be on the list. Uh, let's make a tier list. Let's make a tier list. And let's go ahead and get a notepad. Don't I have notes available? Huh. Let's see. So far, in my opinion, let's see. Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh, what kind of format do you have? Okay, nope. Okay. Let's see if I can, like, do 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Ocarina of Time has to be on the list. Anyone who wasn't gaming or into gaming uh, in 98 doesn't understand how much of a game changer it is. You could argue it's not a sequel, it's just another game in the series. I mean, Ocarina of Time definitely is arguable because of the creators made the timeline so confusing, in the majority's opinion. But I haven't played it. Super Mario 3, I have played it, but I'll put it in the bottom. Super Mario 3, I agree. Just because I have played it before and it has been impactful. Um, let's see. MGS, Metal Gear Solid, Ocarina of Time. I've never played Metal Gear Solid, I'm sorry. Resident Evil 4. Yeah, I will play Resident Evil 4 again. Yeah, Resident Evil 4 is a pretty good game. I played it on the channel. It's been pretty fun. It's been really great. It's really fun and everything. Let's make a list out of these comments and see where that goes. Uncharted 2. I've played Uncharted. I played Uncharted. But in terms of best video game sequel, amongst all these, I would argue that Uncharted 4 is high. Uncharted 4 Thief's End definitely details the struggle for what Nathan Drake has to go through in my argument. But yeah, I think, let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move to this. Yeah. It'll be on my list, but I think I'll play Uncharted 4. I mean, no, it's a good place because Uncharted 4 um is a culmination of Nathan Drake's journey, and it does argue with the conversation of, like, when do you stop? When do you pass it on to the next generation? And Uncharted 4 does a really good job, in my opinion. Um, The Last of Us 2. I don't agree with you on on The Last of Us 2, but God of War Ragnarok, God of War's been pretty good. But I will say God of War 2018 is pretty cap. I think I will. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, that God of War 2018 goes over Uncharted 4, I believe. Uh, I agree with this layout so far. Let's see. I don't deny it. This is like continuing a thread. Let's see. I've never played GTA. I'm sorry. I've watched my brother play GTA, but it's not my favorite. Portal 2. I have not played it yet. I have not played Mass Effect 2 either. Mass Effect either. Um, let's see. It's interesting, but not terribly surprising to see the comments here. Miss Pac-Man. Interesting. I've never played it. Station. I wish I've played some of these games. Flight Simulator's been fun. A Link to the Past. Interesting. I would probably say I regret to mention that I've never completed a Legend of Zelda game. I've played A Link Between Worlds, but I've never finished it. Um, Super Mario World. I don't remember playing it. I do want to play Dead Space. I've not played God of War Ragnarok. I wish I played it. But I will say Kingdom Hearts 2 on the top of my head without properly thinking about it is like the best thing possible in my opinion. At this moment at least. Let's see. Silent Hill. Is there a Final Fantasy game that I want to put on my list? Um that I've completed. I mean, a recent Final Fantasy game I've completed was 16. Was 15. Um, I've played 12 twice. I have played Final Fantasy 4 two times. I have played what other you know what? You know what? Right above the Kingdom Hearts is Final Fantasy 7 remake. And like I will fight people just because Final Fantasy 7 remake has been a really titular it's it's been better. It's been a better um sequel game for me. It's not it's technically a sequel to, I would argue Final Fantasy 7 remake is a sequel to Final Fantasy 7 proper because of the way it like enriches and it like expands the original content. Otherwise, like if I were to play Final Fantasy 8 remaster, that is the most definitive version. But I will say remake's been a pretty good game to me in terms of like, but it's not a sequel. In terms of sequels on a long line of games, I guess I can't put that down. I will probably argue, let's see, right here. Final Fantasy 10. 10-2's been a good top. It's a really good. I think it's a really good Final Fantasy sequel because it continues the story of Final Fantasy X with Yuna as its protagonist, and it incorporates new forms of combat. It's acting on the live, on like the active action type of gameplay with ATBs and stuff like that. But in story content, it's a good sequel to the original 10 game. Let's see what other people have said. Um, Command and Conquer. No, I've never played that. Ooh, is there a Halo game that I would play again? I would probably say Halo 2 has been a game that my brother and I have played constantly. We played it several times. So we have Kingdom Hearts, God of War, Final Fantasy 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games discussed. But yeah, Halo 2 has been a game that my brother and I has like replayed several times, mostly to make sure we can try to do legendary mode. We never beat legendary mode, but it was a really good attempt. What else have people brought up? Skyrim. I would I appreciate that my friend's comfort game is Skyrim, and people being balls deep in a game 12 whole years later, I would argue is because of their busy schedule. And I wouldn't say it's a direct sequel. Like when we're talking about video game sequel, we're talking about direct sequel to the original title. And we argued Uncharted 4, and I've argued Resident Evil 4 because it's a continuation of the first Resident Evil and first Uncharted game. But Skyrim, people are balls deep in the game because there's not been a Elder Scroll game since it's been 12 years of remaking the game to be more accessible on Switch, then on Wii U, then on Nintendo, then on consoles and PC. There's a lot of refreshing and re-releasing of Skyrim that I don't even know if it's a direct sequel to anything yet. We got 3 games to put out. What's the point on the list? Monkey Island. I've never played that before. Mario games. Has there been a Mario? I've never finished a Mario game. Never mind. I'm sorry. Can anyone? Street Fighter. I would say Street Fighter 5. I'll put that on the bottom actually. Street Fighter 5 is my favorite sequel only because of the context that I got it in. The context is like, sorry. The context of me owning Street Fighter 5 was during SakuraCon 2015, 2016, during the press release of the game, and we went to a panel, and me and a few guys got in there, and we played, and we watched the panel for Street Fighter, and on the panel was Ian Sinclair, the voice actor for Rashid, and Ruben Langdon, which is the voice actor for Ken Masters in Street Fighters, and also Dante from Devil May Cry. I was lucky enough to be picked out as a contestant of 2 people who were able to, like, hey, we're gonna ask for 2 people from the crowd to go and to come up here on stage and play Street Fighter, and I got up there. And another girl got up there. I was stressed severely because I picked Ken Masters, and I was playing with Ken Masters with Ruben Langdon sitting next to me. So I was stressed with not only the fangirling that I had with Ruben Langdon sitting next to me, but if I had let Ken Master die, I let Ruben Langdon die. Properly enough, we played the game. I played more than the other person apparently, and I got my free copy of Street Fighter 5. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm pretty happy that that's how I won the game, and that's how I won my copy. But I'm really bad at Street Fighter 5 regardless. But it's on the bottom because it's like a nostalgia pick for me. It's been my favorite. Improving on a little-known original game to essentially refining games. A right answer? Yeah, like in terms of direct video game sequel, it's the closest thing to a right answer because it's asking like anything with a 2 right behind it. Like Tears of the Kingdom is a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. Mega Man. You know, right over here, I think the only Mega Man games I've ever finished has been the Battle Network games. But the one sequel game that's got me into Mega Man Battle Network is Mega Man Battle Network 3. 3 white. That game has introduced me to a collection. I'm still playing that collection. While I'm doing my 2 miles of walking at work, I'm playing Mega Man. I'm playing the Mega Man Battle Network collection as I'm like at work. So it's been a pretty like high favorite for me. So that's been my contribution. That's been my opinion. I've really enjoyed it. So that's been mine so far. Red Dead haven't played. Mortal Kombat not very well. Are we discussing best game that happened to be a sequel or best at being a sequel? Because that can be 2 different things, I guess. Yeah. That is true. So I think the prompt indicates like best game that happens to be a sequel. That happens to be like number 2, I guess. But who can say, right? Let's see. What can I put down? Can't think of a game else. Well, I mean, in terms of games that I've finished, um, Devil, Devil May Cry 3. I'll play Devil May Cry 3. Special Edition is my favorite. Is one of my favorite sequel games as well in my top 10 list because this prequel sequel got me into the Devil May Cry series. I have yet to finish Devil May Cry 1 because of the Gattaca mission in number 19. That's a problem. But I've played 4, I've played 5, and I'm excited to attempt Peak of Combat on the mobile device. So we'll see where that goes. But those are my favorite sequels at the moment. How can I blow this up? There it is. Here's my favorites blown up. Kingdom Hearts 2, God of War 18, Final Fantasy X-2, Uncharted 4, Resident Evil 4, Halo 2, Mega Man, Battle Network 3 White, Devil May Cry 3, Street Fighter 5, and Super Mario 3 are my top 10 sequel games. In the moment at this criteria. Let me know in the comments of how wrong I am. And that is the video. That is it. Thank you.